Hello to you once again. Many of my regular viewers will be familiar with the fact that I favour the style of Paul Morphy. I have uploaded quite a few of the sort of ideas that I think he would have come up with had he been alive today. And this one is along the same lines. What we have to note here is that black is threatening checkmate. Checkmate. So white has to be mindful of that. There's no question about that. So what we have to do here is to bear in mind that we would like to play our rook down here and go check. This queen at the moment is stopping us. So bearing in mind the two checkmate lines and the fact that we can't do this yet, how can we avoid being checkmated and be able to check him on the back rank, which does in fact lead to checkmate eventually? We need to deflect the black queen away from where it is, and we need to neutralize this as well. Well, in fact, there's only one move here that does it. Can you see it? Just take a good look at that position. Well, the move in fact is we sacrifice our queen like this. Now, there is no good move here for black, believe it or not. He really must accept that queen, because if he doesn't, if he tries something like taking the rook here, then we simply take the queen and there's no defense to mate here. I mean, if he were to put, then it's simply checkmate. He's no flight squares for his king, so that just wouldn't work. Equally, if we try something like this, okay, he's moving away from the defense of b8, but he's giving check, so all that we would need to do is that, and then all of a sudden black runs out of checking moves, and he cannot stop white from back rank checking. I mean, he could here, but he'd lose his queen instantly. It just wouldn't be an option. So that is really out of the question. Also, in this position, if he tried something like this to avoid giving up his queen, then really he's beaten out of hand quite simply, because we'd come down here like this and he'd come in here. He'd have to. And this is a neat variation here if you look at it, because should he move here, it's checkmate on the move, but should he take this pawn, then we can go this way. And just take a good look at that. The pawn is pinned, checkmate. So none of that works. So really, like I've been saying, black is without any alternative other than to take the queen. He really must take the queen. There's just no way around it. That is the position after queen takes c5. So he takes the queen. What is the idea behind this? Well, the idea simply is, like I've said, we deflect him and we play rook b8. Now, again, if he comes here, we go into this operation and he's checkmated. So he has no option but to give his queen back. It's amazing when you look at it. He's not winning anything. In fact, he's going to be checkmated in very short order. What do we do now? Well, we take the queen off, we get it back. And again, if he goes here, we run to the same line again. So he has no option but to take the rook. Now, this is the most difficult stage. When you look at this position, you think to yourself, well, how do we make progress? This is the problem. Well, there's only one move to do it. Can you see it? This is a study in itself. This is white to checkmate in 8 moves in the greatest number of moves variation. 8 moves. What is white's next move? This is the critical stage. Well, I'll give you a clue. It's with his rook, but it's where he puts that rook. He has to plonk it on one particular square. Can you see it? Well, well done indeed if you did. It's this move here. Now, what are we threatening? Well, we're threatening checkmate on the move. So, the fact is, if black doesn't move his king, if he does anything with this pawn or rooks, it's rook d8 mate. If he plays his king this way, we play here. He has to go back, and that is checkmate. And this explains why the rook has to go here, because if he played it here, the bishop would be in the way, and if he played it to these, he's escaping, isn't he? And we don't want that. We want to pin him down the D line, and that is why you need to play that rook to D1. So by implication, that is the only move that he has, to G8. So what do we do now? We play rook D8 anyhow. And where does he go? Well, he has to go here. Now then, here we go. And of course, should he play king h6, it's rook h8 mate. So he has to play here. Yeah. Now, of course, we don't have a rook here now to checkmate him as we did before. So how do we do it? Well, this is where the bishop comes into its element. Check. What does he do? Well, he has to go here. Yes. And now we go here. And I think that is probably an ending that Paul Morphy could have played without wishing to seem conceited at all. That is typical of the man himself. I rate Paul Morphy as the greatest natural chess player of all time, with Capablanca as a close second. And they were probably the two greatest child prodigies. I like Morphy's games. I used his games when I was a teenager, and they helped me tremendously in correspondence chess. Morphy wrote no book on chess, and he, for a brief period, only did an article for the New York Times. I think the way that he'd be looking at it is, let my games show you my ideas, and they did show me his ideas, and I hope that these are continuing to spread the Paul Morphy word, quite possibly the greatest chess player of all time. I hope you enjoyed these problems, especially this one, and goodbye for now.